My name is Brian Harbaugh, and I graduated from St. Joe's in 2024. My employment title is a legal practice assistant at Morgan Lewis, which is a global law firm, and I am in the Chicago office. Morgan Lewis is a global law firm representing some of the Fortune 100 companies. It is a litigation-facing firm, so we have a lot of trials happening and cases happening. So my job as a legal practice assistant in the labor and employment section is to directly assist the associates and partners and the other legal staff with any cases that they have. My role can vary. There could be a lot of different job responsibilities for my job. Some of my consistent tasks are preparing the large documents that we have in these different cases, and so making sure that we have everything in order in terms of things like a chronology. We need to be able to have all of our documents in an order that the associates and partners can easily understand them. I also participate in things like attending fact investigation interviews and taking notes during those. And so my job can vary. It's a lot of administrative tasks, but getting great experience here at a great law firm and learning a lot along the way, helping the associates and partners with the cases that they have. So I knew that I always wanted to attend law school someday. It was a big goal of mine, but I also knew that I wanted to work first. Having gone to school my entire life, I wanted to get real world experience first. And so this opportunity came to me through St. Joe's. It was an email sent to all the members of the National Business Honor Society, Beta Gamma Sigma. And so it was an email titled Law School Opportunity. And it felt like it was kind of speaking to me because I certainly something that fit my interests. And so I replied to the email and really my whole life I've heard about it's all about who you know. But in this case, I was very lucky that the fact that in terms of networking, it came right to me. St. Joe's faculty was incredibly helpful with getting my resume in front of the main people. And so really just replying to that email set me on a really good path to get interviews at this firm. And so yeah, in terms of a typical path, I think this position, the legal practice assistant position, it's really open to anybody with an interest in going to law school or maybe just being a paralegal someday. A lot of my job is similar to what a paralegal will do. And so it's a very flexible position. So I don't think there's any typical path for someone. It's very open to everybody. One of the most essential skills for my position is meticulous attention to detail. The partners and associates that I work with have a really strong eye for anything that could be missing in a task or in a document. And so my job is to deliver high quality work, and I need the associates and partners to trust me. And so a big, skill that I have to develop is meticulous attention to detail, making sure that everything is correct with what I do, making sure that there's no mistakes. Because if there is mistakes, that reflects badly on the firm, on myself, and clients are not going to like that. And also, if I make mistakes like that, the associates and partners who give me projects are not going to trust me. And so that's a big deal. Delivering high quality work and making sure that everything is in a row when I deliver my work. I was able to develop the skill very well with my English classes at St. Joe's. We did a great job with those classes at peer reviewing, constantly editing our work, and that was a really great step to develop my attention to detail. I still have a lot of work to do in this area, but my classes at St. Joe's really helped me with that. I think any experience students can get working in a fast-paced environment would serve them well if you're going to work in a law firm. My experience has been you're handling a lot of different cases at one time, different responsibilities, and so you need to be able to manage your time and do it effectively. And so for me personally, experience I had was working in a restaurant. I was a busser, I was a hostess, I was serving, I was doing all those different tasks, and it was a fast-paced environment. I think it really prepared me for work in a law firm. And also, I would urge students to pay particular attention to the Excel classes that St. Joe's offers. Excel is a very important part of what we do. We handle a lot of large cases, a lot of data that we need to gather. And so I would urge St. Joe students to definitely, pay particular attention to those Excel classes and develop those skills. I would urge all students looking for networking opportunities to join all the clubs and organizations you can while at St. Joe's. I think it's very common for job opportunities to be sent directly to students in particular clubs. In my case, it was the Beta Gamma Sigma, the National Business Honor Society. And so I would urge students, any experience you can get with different clubs and organizations can open you up to more people and, find a spot where you're interested in a particular job and people can help you, directly help you, land that job. I think it's very important to attend company events and show face at things like that. It's a big opportunity to show who you are as a person. A lot of the times your senior leaders see you who you are in the work you do, but if you can attend the social events that a company offers, it gives you a chance to show who you are as a person, and that's a great chance to network with senior leaders. So my interview process was approximately 5 rounds of interviews, and within those interviews, there was 2 rounds with associates and partners at the firm. And so the biggest piece of advice I would give to students is you need to talk about how you are going to add value to whoever you're interviewing with. Your resume is great, your GPA, your clubs, organizations, all very important. Those are things that get you in the door for the interview. When you're in the room with the people or you're on a Zoom call, you need to emphasize how you're going to add value. And so the biggest thing I think you can do is blend your experiences directly with the firm's goals. And this could be done through researching any company goals. A big thing as well is if you have the opportunity, like I did, to know directly who you're going to interview with, I think it's a great idea to research directly about those people. Something that I did was I knew who I was going to interview with, and so I researched their background as attorneys and saw that they had different publications about new enacted legislation in labor and employment law. And so I read those articles, and by the time my interview came, I was prepared to ask questions about those articles. And I hope I gave some coherent answers to those questions. Or to those articles rather. But my biggest thing is that demonstrate how much I care, my passion for the position by asking those questions. I think the attorneys saw that in me. And so I would just urge all students to do as much research as you can. If you see particularly interesting things in a person's background, pose questions about it. You have to be careful about posing those questions at the right time. A lot of interviews will have at the end an open forum to ask questions. That's probably the best place to do it. But if you can demonstrate how much you care about a position, you're going to set yourself up pretty well. To me, diversity and inclusion is about fostering a culture where all backgrounds and viewpoints are respected and people feel empowered to contribute to the company culture. Something at Morgan Lewis that we do is we have a network of first generation lawyers. So I recently joined that network where I can connect with a mentor who is a senior associate and talk about being a first generation lawyer. For myself, my family does not come from a background in the legal profession. So it's a great opportunity for me to gain insight into the legal world and being the first one in a family to do it. And so I think Morgan Lewis does a great job of making sure all viewpoints and backgrounds are valued. I think those who are interested in the legal profession should constantly be aware of how the legal landscape constantly evolves. I think one way you could do this is by researching newly enacted legislation in whatever type of law you're interested in. Something we do at Morgan Lewis, we have a meeting every month to specifically discuss new legislation in labor and employment law. And so I think as an outsider, if you can gain research and gain some understanding of how the legal landscape constantly changes, I think you would really learn a lot about the law and put yourself in a good spot. I think something I wish someone told me was that there's many different paths to enter the legal profession. For most of my life, I thought that going to law school directly out of undergrad was the only path. But I've learned through this position as an LPA at Morgan Lewis that there's so many different ways to do it. A lot of people take time off before they go to law school, I've learned. And in this position, you're constantly networking with different associates and partners. And so it's a great chance to just put my name out there amongst really talented people at a great firm. And so this path that I took, I'm very happy with the decision. I do still hope to go to law school one day. Hopefully in the fall of 2026 would be my goal. And so this has been a great path for me. Another piece of advice I would give for St. Joe students is utilizing the Career Center. It is a phenomenal tool to particularly with developing a resume. So I went to the Career Center in the fall of my junior year, specifically to make sure my resume was cleaned up and looked professional. And they did an excellent job that when I applied for this position, I was told my resume looked, I think they used the word perfect. So there was no errors with my resume. Um, and I also learned in this position when you're competing for a job and there's not many spots, this tiniest mistake on a resume can be the difference between you getting an interview or not getting an interview. And so utilizing the Career Center, all the tools that they have available, and particularly with developing your resume and making it look professional, it would be a great thing for all students to do and do it as soon as you can.